Now it's coming. Juliet, you're very dark again. Maybe you can check the lighting. It's very hard to see your face. Just maybe you put on the lights. Sorry.
Is the light better now?
No, not really, but maybe. I don't know if that's possible, but if you just kind of like look to the window so that the sunlight will follow you, because now it's lighter behind you.
Hello, everyone outside there who is watching our live stream. We are still setting up. We are the very, very few last steps, setting the lights, having all the artists and our moderator here. Sorry for the delay, but now the event is going to start. Welcome, and yeah, we are happy to have you here for the next virtual gallery tour, which is a concept that has been introduced last year to bring together Ugandan and German artists, especially visual artists, to get to know each other, to share their artistic work, to exchange their studio tours, to see where each other is working. It was actually introduced because of a time where we could not do any real events, so we had to do it online. And we realized that platforms like Zoom, like this virtual exchanges, have not been used much before COVID, and that this pandemic also showed us new ways of interacting and exchanging with people we have maybe not seen before, but maybe we share, yeah, specific artistic direction, philosophy, etc. Today's event is in cooperation with Pilotenküche, an international artist residency from Leipzig in Germany, and also in cooperation with Sena Art Gallery, which is in Entebbe. And the people we are working with for this event is Kito from Entebbe and Marcel and Julian from Pilotenküche. So both art institutions were coming to us and helping us with proposing artists we can bring together for this time's virtual gallery tour. And it's actually a special time because we are going to focus on a duo from Germany and a duo from Uganda. So we have Noah and Maren, who are presented from Germany. Noah is a visual artist, and Maren is opera singer, and Maren is the mother to Noah. Then we have from the Ugandan side, Charles and Victoria. Charles is the father to Victoria. Both are visual artists. And yeah, today's it's all about the family special. So we're going to talk about how it feels to have a parent as an artist when you're also an artist by yourself. And then we also, of course, include the intercultural aspect as we're highlighting it from Germany and Uganda. And I'm very happy to also introduce Juliet Kushaba, who's going to be the moderator for this virtual event. And yeah, that's actually all from our side. My name is Zina. I'm the cultural coordinator of Goethe-Zentrum Kampala. And together with my colleague Annie, we are joining this event tonight. And yeah, I'm very glad, I'm very excited, and I can't wait to see what's coming out of it. So I'm giving my word to Juliet, and I wish everyone a very enjoyable evening.
Thank you so much, Sina, for the welcome remarks, and welcome everybody who is joining us online, whether on WhatsApp or YouTube. And our own greetings. We don't know where you are watching us from, but a good morning to you, a good afternoon, and a good evening to you, depending on where you are. So yeah, my name is Juliet Kushaba, and I'm going to be the moderator for this session. This is how we are going to run our evening or morning or afternoon, depending on where we are watching from. We have these 4 beautiful artists. And so I think I'll read their bios so we can get to know a bit about them. And then after I've read their bios, this being a virtual gallery tour, we will watch some video clips with their work, some of the work that they've produced. They were generous to put it together for us to be able to watch online, given the times of the pandemic where we can't visit physical art galleries and see art, see the beauty of art. So we are going to have this opportunity to watch online from the video clips that they prepared for us. And then after that, I'll engage them in a Q&A so that we get to a bit of some depth of the work that they do. And the Q&A will be followed by an extension of the Q&A from the audience. So feel free to type your comments, questions, and we'll collect all of them and have them shared with the artists so that you can get to engage with them directly through your own question or through your own comment. So I would like to, in a special way, welcome our artists. And like my colleague Sina has mentioned, there are 2 duos, one duo from Uganda and the other from Germany, this being an art exchange. So from Uganda, we have Mr. Charles Kamya, a visual artist, and Victoria Nawulime, a visual artist as well. So this is father and daughter. And I'll go straight and read their bios so we get to feel what they've been up to in their arts careers. So Charles Kamya was born in 1983 in Uganda. He's a self-taught sculptor working in Kampala. At the age of 15, he started making furniture from a tree root, which he randomly found in the garden at his home. His talents were noticed by John Keller, who owned an arts gallery called Gallery Cafe in Kampala in 1998. John gave him more specialized tools and space in his studio and encouraged him to continue to improve his sculpting practice. In 1999, Charles participated in his very first exhibition with work titled Hope, and this was between 2007 and this was in 1999, and then between 2007 and 2013, he also participated in several other exhibitions at Alliance Francaise in Nairobi, Kenya. And then much later, he won a couple of grants and awards, including the Buganda Artists Award, that's Uganda, 2006. And then he also won in 2011, the Fred Manasseh Award in the US, and he was named one of the best East African sculptors by Kenya in 2011. In 2011 also, he participated in a carving studio and sculpture center symposium in the US. He has taken part in both in the first and the second International Wood Sculpture Symposium in Sonderborg, that's Denmark. That was in 2012 and in 2013 as well. And in 2018, he was chosen in the first position at the International Wood Sculpture Symposium in Switzerland. And Charles was part of the team which worked on art in the movie Queen of Katwe. That's a 2015 movie, and I'm sure most of us might have interacted with this movie in one way or the other. And he has a video that is titled Spice, that was a 2015 work, and Walt Disney Pictures. And he is a father and a mentor. And what we need to remember again is that in this session, we are hosting mother, son, father-daughter. And so when he says he is a mentor and a father, at least we have Victoria to name as one of the mentors that he's talking about. So who is Victoria? Victoria Nawulime was born in Kampala on the 15th of October 2002. She is currently studying art and design at Nagenda International Academy of Art and Design. Growing up in a very artistic environment, Victoria showed interest in art at the age of 5. She started with small drawings of faces and flowers on paper in her father's studio. Victoria's practice started in 2018 at home, and she was an apprentice working with her father, who is a professional sculptor, as we've seen in his bio. She continued her artwork with her father, who also doubles as her mentor. She's a painter and tries to experiment in collage as well. Victoria has a unique style of painting. That's what she thinks of herself, and we are yet to discover through her art. Her subjects are mostly female subjects, and she has participated so far in 4 group exhibitions and 2 art residencies. One of these is the 2020, which was titled Can You Hear Me? And this was an international online exhibition, and she was awarded a certificate. As a young artist, that is a great milestone. She also had a Silhouette project by AfriArt Gallery, and that was in 2020 as well. And in 2021, Head to Heart exhibition at Seina Art Gallery showcased some of her work. And she took a masterclass residency program at Seina Art Gallery in the same year, this same year, 2021. And some of the work that she showcased after that experience include online exhibition titled Power. And the second one, which she says is a big milestone for this year, is her being shortlisted in an arts contest titled Positive Memoirs of COVID-19 by Face Up. So that's our duo from Uganda. And I would like now to take us to our duo from Germany. Maren Maxena is an opera singer, lecturer, and singing teacher in Rostock and Bad Doberan. I hope I haven't butchered those names. She was born in February in 1965 in Leverkusen and studied music theater with the main subject of singing from 1985 to 1992 at Folkwang University in Essen. From 1992 to 1993, she had guest contracts at the Wuppertal, Bohen, and Semperop in one of the cities in Germany. And in August 1993 to 1997, she was also the opera in Dusseldorf, followed by one of the year's seasons in Flensburg, Bremen. In 1998, she started her concert and oratorio activities as soloist until her parental leave in 1999. In November 2001, she began teaching singing at the District Musical School. And in 2003, she also was teaching at Fake Schule Rerik and left in 2005 for a second parental leave. Since April 2010, she's a lecturer in singing at the University of Music and Theatre. And 2016, Maren started teaching at the conservatory in the Rostock. In April 2019, she took over the seminar Leadership for Methodology and Didactics. With her specific knowledge of the anatomy of the voice, her empathy, and her experience as an artist, she's trying to encourage each student to trust their own intuition and body in order to sound. And probably she will tell us more about this kind of experience. So that's Maren Makesa. And we shall go now to the son, Noah, and the mother shares a name with Noah. It's the same name, Makesa. Yeah, Noah, am I pronouncing the name right?
It's Max Einer.
Max Einer. Wow, exactly. Yeah, Max Einer. So Noah Max Einer is a painter, performer, musician based in Leipzig. He was born in December in 1999 and was very lucky to get early access to musical education ever since he's making music and performing. During a student exchange, he found his passion for drawing and took painting lessons until he finished high school in June 2018. In September 2018, he moved to Leipzig to study philosophy and art history. Incidentally, he was working on his portfolio and took a course by Malt Pays at the Evening Academy of the University of Graphics and later Paris in 2019. During the summer 2020, he took part at the exhibition Tonington and participated in 2 group performances at the art festival in Wiesbaden and in Weimar. September 18th, he performed at Pilot. That name, I can't pronounce it, but I'm sure you'll be seeing it throughout our conversation. Please forgive my Ugandan English. And in March 2021, he was part of a yard theater project in Frankfurt. And at the moment, Noah is a participant of that project, whose name I can't pronounce, the 47th round. Noah will tell us more about that project so that we have as much information, even when I'm limiting you to having that information right now. But as a painter, he's trying to connect all his interests and different artistic rudiments to refer to the specific feeling and condition by picking up real life events and capturing the thought processes in a painting way, as he calls it picturesque relations. And so, ladies and gentlemen and others, I would like to take this opportunity to welcome everybody in this session. I'm sure I will have so many questions asked. I'm sure I'll have so many responses given. And I'm sure that we'll all learn about what it feels like to be a writer, what it feels like to be a painter in Uganda, what it feels like to be a sculptor in Uganda, what it feels like to be a sculptor or a musician in German, and what the differences between the two worlds are for the different artists. So right now, I would like to welcome us to watch this production work from the 4 artists. I'm sure you'll enjoy it. So Gote team, please set it up for us so we can have a look at what these artists are producing for us.
Thank you, Juliet. I'm going to share the screen, and for those who want to watch the films, the studio tours in a separate tab, please see it in the comment bar. You just have to copy the link and then it will work. But of course, you can also watch the videos from here. sorry for that. Seemingly the videos were not seen on YouTube, so we're just going to do it again. Okay, once again.
Hi, my name is Navlina Victoria, and welcome to my virtual gallery tour. I'm going to take you through the steps I use, the media I use, and what inspires me. Thank you.
I work with acrylics on canvas, and these are some of my paintings that I did last year in 2020. And on the floor, it's my collage artwork that I did in the Silhouette residence last year in December. I work with different medias, and these are some of my collages. This is the process when I'm working with collages. I select photos and paste them on paper, then I start cutting them into what I feel is best for me to create a piece.
I won't be afraid of my head. Someday I will not be chained to my bed. Someday I'll forget the day he left.
And outside my studio, there is a small man-made lake. And sometimes when I just want to relax, I just go and walk in the water around it. It's really interesting staying near a lake, water body. It's relaxing sometimes, though sometimes it's hectic. You just feel like, oh, I don't want to live here. And this is how it looks like in the morning in that small man-made lake.
Play the harlequin. There she goes till evening. Wish she could stand it, but.
Okay, merkst du, was ich hier gerade mache?
Nee,
Das merkst du nicht?
ich weiß nicht, was du.
Tut dir das gut? Ist
Ja.
das angenehm?
Ist gut.
Ich bin dein Rückgrat.
Ah.
Du bist, deine ganze Körperbewegung ist so und so und so.
Ja.
Du kompensierst, dann gehst du so, dann stehst du so und dadurch hast du keine Basis. Dein Instrument ist genau. Und jetzt stärke ich deinen Rücken. Also ich habe mit Pobacken zusammen, hier passiert viel zu wenig, das kannst du viel mehr loslassen.
Ah, viel zu viel passiert.
Viel zu viel, da musst du gar nicht so viel machen, mehr hier.
Oh, she's bothered, tired, and she feels like shit.
Nee, nicht nach vorne gehen, gerade, stolz.
She can be
Gerade.
nice during daytime, finishing the evenings with that post-shift drink. Back home alone, she sings. No, I don't feel like I'm rather tired.
Ja, sehr gut.
I could use some sympathy. Dear people, we all are craving for attention, but the gears must roll, put on your costume. Play now and let the show begin. Play the harlequin. Play the harlequin. There she goes till evening.
Okay.
Hi, my name is Navlina Victoria, and welcome to my virtual.
Okay, Julie, you can continue.
Hello, everyone. Thank you, Sina. Welcome back from the tour. I hope you loved it as much as I've loved it. And I think now we should go straight to getting to interact with the artists, especially since we've seen some of the work they've produced. They could tell us a bit more about their experiences and we get to understand how they do their art. And I would like to go straight by asking Charles. Charles, allow me to start with you. Your work has a level of complexity that I think makes it even more beautiful, because you know the curves, sometimes you think it's in a shape of a woman or a shape of a human being, but then there is some extension that you don't necessarily seem to understand as part of the human body as we know it. So when you're producing your art, is it always clear from the beginning what product you want to have in the end? Is it always clear to you as you start the process of producing what product you want to have in the end? Or do you go along manipulating the thing that you're working with until it turns out to be beautiful as per your eye? Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Juliet. And thanks to everyone who's here. About my work, first of all, I start with a message in my mind. Then that message, I try to develop it in my own style by using some elements of the sculpture elements. When I say, or when I talk about elements of the sculpture, when you are doing sculptures, there are some elements, or we combine, like sometimes we call it the surfaces. There are some round, flat surfaces, and there's space. So when I'm starting my work, first of all, I have to think of a message that I want to produce. Then after that, I get a piece of wood, I sketch, but mostly I prefer, with my work, it's not that realistic. Yeah, I'm kind of, my work is kind of strong abstract. That's really makes me happy and makes my work different. So I always use different elements or surfaces. Then I combine them to bring out something which is creative and something artistic and something different. Okay.
Wow. Thank you so much, Charles, for sharing that. And for our audience, please be reminded, this is very important. For that beautiful work that you've seen from Charles, be reminded that Charles is a self-taught artist. So if you want to know how he manages, please keep thinking around questions that you may want to ask Charles in the end. I would like now to go to Noah and Victoria as mentees on this project, being mentored by their own parents. Yeah. So Noah and Victoria, please share with us what it feels like being mentored by your own father, by your own mother in Noah's case. Would you say you are gaining a lot in comparison to if you were mentored probably by someone else that is not your parent? Or do you think there are lots of things that you're missing out on because you're being mentored by your own parent? I think I would like to start with Noah.
Okay. I couldn't say if I missed out on something or missed something about working together with my mother, because for me it never was like something special. So we sit together in a car singing, and she was like, "No, do this," for example, or do that. Or when we were in art galleries, because she has a love for Van Gogh, and so we were visiting the Kröller-Müller Museum. Often also the Louvre, so she always was taking me and my two little brothers to some crazy spaces, to concerts, and it was like yeah, like the daily life. So I don't can't really answer the questions on what I miss out, what I like about working with her. That when we work together, there is not this kind of like feeling that you first has to get warm with the other person, because everything between us is like clear, so we can just go straight ahead, and I don't feel wait a second, I need to find the word. Don't feel offended if she says like, no, why are you singing like this? You're missing your background. So that is pretty nice, because it's very clearly and we can work pretty straight together. So this is what I love.
That's powerful. So what I hear from you, among other things, Noah, is the fact that you first outline the terms under which you're going to work. And that makes me feel like I should ask a follow-up question before I actually go to Victoria. When you are setting down the terms under which you're going to work on your artistic creations as son and mother, do you feel like you're also given room to make an input in this decision of how do we work together? Or do you feel like because she's your mother, she has to say what you need to do?
No, it's not like that she says what I have to do. I can come to her and say, hey mom, Maren, I have this song, so I want to record it. Could you please help me? Because in arts, actually, I showed a painting of mine to her, and she was like, no, I can't really compare this. It don't speaks to me. So for my practice or my rudiments as a visual artist, we have many differences in taste. But for musical wise, it's just like that I can come directly to her, and it's more spontaneous. So she just gives me a call. Like, we don't have a fixed time when we do it, but she's like, oh no, I have time. Would you like to Zoom call me, and we could work on some songs together? And it's because it's so easy to understand what she means, because I had some singing lessons with other teachers. I often didn't understand what they were trying to say to me, but when my mother said it, it's like pretty clear at the same amount of time, and I'm already and she only needs to say one word or one sentence, and it's like, oh, aha, no, I know what everybody was trying to say to me.
Thank you so much, Noah, for sharing that. I like that you collaborate in every sense of the word, that you design what you want to do together, and that you work on it together. So Victoria, I'm going to extend this very question to you. Ask it in light of the fact that you have two spaces to compare with. You have the space with your father mentoring you, but you're also in an art school and you're being mentored probably by other people other than your father. How do you relate the two experiences? And if you were to share with us, like Noah has, what would you say you are gaining or you are missing out by being mentored by your father? Thank you.
I don't think I'm missing out on anything, because my dad has been in the industry for long, and I believe he has experienced a lot, and he has done a lot of mistakes. So when he's mentoring me, he's making sure I don't do the same mistakes that he did. So I'm sure he guides me in the right path. And how it feels like being mentored by my dad at home and at school, I have other people mentoring me. At times, I reached a point when I was really confused. I didn't know who to follow, because at school I'm being told to do something else, and at home my dad is saying, no, this is the way to go. But I reached a point and decided to say, I'll take in what they tell me at school, and I'll take in what my dad said. So it's up to me to decide what to take in. And sometimes I just combine the two advices from both sides, and I work with it, and I decide what's best for me. Because at the end of it all, I'm the artist. I know what I want to the message I want to put out there. Yes, so most times I try to work with my inner self and convince myself that if this at school I'm being told to do this like this, and they say it's the right way, and my dad says no, it is supposed to be done like this. I take the two advices and decide on one thing, and I know I'm the artist at the end of it all. It's my career. I decide what's best for me, basing on what I've been advised to do.
Thank you so much, Victoria. And I like this phrase, I am the artist. It's very powerful and it's very engaging in many ways. And when you mention that you are the artist and you decide what gets to be done, and I'm glad that for you, you have the luxury to even pick from two different choices, school and then home mentoring. And I know that in many ways you are different from your father, for instance, who only mentored himself, who practiced and got to harness the skill and the art crafts through his own trials without anyone looking at him and saying, this is the right way to do it. So I believe that there is an element of power that we need to explore more. And I think one of the ways that I would like to explore that element of power, going back to you, Victoria, is to ask this simple question. I have seen, at least in the work that you've shared, that the female character is like a motif in your work. It features a lot in your work.
Yeah.
So including in your paintings, but also in your collages. So what would you say is your motivation behind this kind of decision? Is it a deliberate choice that you make, or is it because that is the area in which you are, that's the space in which you can access work, and the only work that you can access is that with female characters? The question, I'm making it quite too compound, but I hope you get the question in the end.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
I do. And I deliberately choose to work with female figures and faces because I believe the future is female. And my work seeks to echo life and struggles of teenage girls, and to engage the audience into the silenced world of girls. And because most of what people portray as the struggles of girls is, oh, they don't have food, they don't have clothes, they get pregnant at an early age. And to me, I use that, and with my collages and paintings, I use the negative and look at the positive side of it. Like, if it wasn't for girls like getting pregnant in school, dropping out of school, what would life be? What would have been the positive side of it? So I deliberately choose to work with female figures because I'm a female, and I believe we are the future, and I feel better expressing myself that way.
Thank you so much, Victoria, for sharing that. The audience you've heard, I can't repeat these words because I have no power to do that. And for the audience that just joined us, we are hosting 4 artists, 2 from Uganda, 2 from Germany, and that's Goethe Institute hosting them. And we are having a discussion around what it feels like to be an arts family. Father, daughter, both artists. Mother, son, both artists. One mentoring the other out of experience, out of love, out of need, and out of so many other things. So feel free to keep listening in, and you'll have a chance to ask your questions and have them responded to. So feel welcome, because you're real welcome to this space. Maren, I would like to go to you on a question that I asked to Noah and Victoria, but ask it from your own perspective differently. You are an arts teacher and a vocal coach precisely. And in your video, we've seen you try to train Noah on how to bring the best of himself to the audiences that he wants to share his art with. So how do you relate your work training Noah, your son, with training others at the universities where you've worked, at the schools where you've worked? Thank you.
Thank you. I'm very happy to be a part of this grateful event. And as a mother, I noticed that there is no creativity under pressure. So each child could choose his own instruments, and they had to task of setting a goal be achieved in 6 years. For example, 4 years, 6 years, it depends on. So they learn to be patient, to perseverance, and to be proud of their achievements. That's exactly how I work with the people and have voices. You find your voice exactly over your body. You have to know yourself, to have you love yourself, and so you can free your voice. And this is the same thing for me, like a mother.
Okay, and to be more really exact and a little bit edgy and personal, do you find working with Noah a very fulfilling experience? I don't want to compare that experience with that of your students, because probably some of them are actually in here. But do you find it a fulfilling experience working with Noah? Do you feel like, okay, I'm glad to have done this with my son? Or do you feel there are things that you would rather have done differently, but you can't have the means?
It's not differently, because when I hear a voice, I teach with every sense, with my ear, with my feeling, with my heart. And so I'm not the mother. I'm in a function of vocal coach. So I hear the voice, and I hear the pressure or the calmness, to be too soft, to without no power. And so I work with every voice. And when I work with Noah, with my son, I say, I can't hear anything because I have so much work. But yes, I wanted to do it for you. And sometimes it was a moment, oh, it's a great pleasure for me because he had a great voice. It's my son, but this voice is very, very, very good. And I have I was patiently, and I wanted to work with him again. It was very, very, with a lot of fun. So I called him and said, I have time. Well, do you have fun to work with me? Because it was my fun with his voice, not because he was my son, or he is my son. It was the voice. He touched me like all the others.
That's great. No, I hope you've heard that, and I hope that even before this engagement, you already knew that you touched her with your voice, not because you were the son. And I think that's what art does to all of us who are art lovers. And Maren, I would like to ask another question before I go to the other artists, and I'll ask the same question to them. What would you say to the audience that is listening in that are the key issues that you're really, really passionate about, and those that you address through your art? What would you say are those issues? If you are to mention a few, what are they? Those that are closest to your heart and those that reflect through your art or in your art?
The love. Only. The love for the people.
Is probably, if I could probe a little more, is this something that comes from a particular place that we need to know? Does it come from your childhood? Did it come at a stage when you got to have children? Is it something that you learned as you created your art? How did you start feeling like you could create art that only speaks to love for humanity. When did that passion begin?
I started for 6.5 years, and it was very, very hard because every time I felt the elbows, and I can't sing, I can't make music with my elbows. So even on stage, I heard some senses on, oh, this is not the right place. You're in my light. So how can I sing? How can I open my soul in this unpassionately situation? And so I decided if I have the possibility, I want to make the people feeling good. Even if I work with women who are 60, 69 years, something like that, I want to make them happy with music.
Wow, thank you so much for sharing, Maren. And I think love is really universal in our different ways of understanding the word, but I think it's a very universal element. We might not love people, we might love ourselves, we might love animals, we might love anything, but it reflects in how we view life, but also in the kind of work that we produce. I'm sure most of us could speak to that fact. And I'll go straight to Charles to hear what inspires his work. Maybe there's some love element as well.
Yeah, I fell in love with wood carving, though it's a hard work. That's the reason why we are few sculptors, because it's a physical work and it's very hard. And I chose that to be special. And I really enjoy what I'm doing, however much it's hard work, but I really enjoy a lot doing sculpture. And whenever I produce something special, I feel it makes me happy, and it inspires more. So I really enjoy doing sculpture. It's what I love to do.
It's what you love to do. And
Yes.
it's evident from your productions, from your work, from your beautiful artistic work. And Charles, I would like to ask this question again before I go to Maren and Victoria. We know you, at least I know you as one of the greatest visual artists in this country, Uganda. And I know many might be wondering how you've made it. Those that have seen your work, those that have heard about how your work has traveled or made you travel places, how you've impacted your community with your art. So many of us are curious. We want to know, at what point of your life did you feel that you had a breakthrough in your career as an artist?
I think to answer your question, I think I can't answer that straightforward. A breakthrough is a bit hard because we artists always say that we are famous when we are dead, and that's true.
Why do you say that? Why do you say that?
Because when you say that I made it somewhere, when you take a look, it's not really, you are not really there. There's something always missing. But maybe after, like people like Picasso, like Henry Moore, I think they were not famous. They were not famous as they are now. So I can't say that since I began work now, I have a breakthrough. It's very hard. So I just have to keep on working. However much I have some good experience and some good moments, yeah, whereby you say that I'm almost there, but it can't be like it's a breakthrough. So it's hard to get there. Yeah,
it's hard to get there.
Yes,
so I would like to just turn that same dice, and since that question is a question that speaks to how much we continue working and aiming for the best, I would
Yeah.
like to ask more or less of its opposite question. As a self-taught artist, struggling the way you think you're struggling, what would you say then were your like hardest moments as you struggle to build your career, which you might still be struggling to build? The hardest moments.
I think I won't call it the hardest moment, but I think I'll call it a challenge, maybe. It's a challenge whereby we do what we do, and people near us or people around us, they don't understand what we are doing. And people from some other places very far, they understand what we are doing. So I would call it a challenge of people who are near us, being that they don't understand what you're doing. And we have to do what we do for others who are very far away. So I think.
Okay. At some point, I'll ask whether that's the same experience that we have from the artists in German. But before I get there, let me speak to Victoria and hear what she thinks her main themes in her artistic work might be. I know you mentioned that you are the artist and the future is female. So tell us a little more about those two statements, but also if there is more to that, please share it with us in terms of what your major themes are in your artistic work.
In most of my works, I work with flowers and faces of females. And I believe girls blossom and so do flowers. So that's why I work with flowers and faces. And yeah, I believe that we also blossom in a way. And yeah, the future is female, right? Because for years that I've been on this earth, I've seen like the past females were undermined. They weren't respected enough, according to what I know. And I believe we have a chance in the future.
You believe we have a chance in the future, and I believe we do as well, Victoria. We are in this together. So Noah, I'm coming over to you, and I would like you to share with us part of your philosophy as you create your art. I know you have different motivations, probably from circumstances around you, from happenings around you. What really is that push behind your work, and how do you end up packing it or packaging it in terms of the themes? Thank you, Noah.
Okay. I think my work as an artist, also as a visual artist, is digging. So I just try to never stop ask questions. And what I'm focusing, because I grew up with a single mother, my father wasn't really a person for me, and we always had this. I always had this issue because Charles said to be not understood. Also to be this weird guy in school who dresses differently, who approaches differently. And at the moment, I'm trying to focus more with my pictures and reflections. I also was focusing on love. Then I realized I'm exploring this subject. So it was not about love, it was about relationships. Then I realized, say, what are relationships about? Relationships are also about the role of a man in a relationship and a female in a relationship. So from this, I get to the point, okay, what's my role so how do I see myself in this masculinity world? So what impacts have this worldview of masculinity to me, and how do I approach in order to that, and how do I feel more free? Dress differently, also reflecting on such things. So that's something then that's continuously growing and growing. So how I would describe myself as an artist is I collect. I have certain thoughts, and I'm trying to document them, because I think I don't want to close up and be this kind of like figure, because I think art always needs stories. and I want to tell my story, but also breaking it. So it's very detailed. My work is very detailed, and I'm trying to get just like in a dialectic way to form two questions together and illuminate it from each side. And then I have this kind of like finished product, which is called painting, but in the end it's like colors on the surface. And there is this whole thinking process behind it, so I can really think about it. Then I have text I wrote, and then I do a song with it, and everything is kind of like in a way connected. It's continually exploring, and just kind of like having this drive to do something with it, because there's so much impression. I want to bring all these impression out. I don't know why. It's just there.
I know why, because you're an artist. We always keep creating and creating and creating until the product is out there. Probably that's the same thing that Charles spoke to when I asked the question of what point in his life did he feel like he had found a breakthrough in terms of his art, and he didn't have that point. So meaning, I think as artists, our souls are always yearning to do more and better and better and better. So our societies should pay us for this kind of thing, for the work that we produce, because we put in our souls. Yeah, so I hear you, Noah. And those of us who are watching on YouTube and Facebook, this project brought these artists together a few weeks ago. They're not meeting here for the first time. They've been having interactions and a few engagements on WhatsApp, on Zoom and other spaces. And on your behalf, audience, I'm curious to find out from them, especially in terms of the duos, the German duo and the Ugandan duo. You'll tell us separately. Have you made any discoveries about artists in the other country that are not necessarily in your country? Surprising discoveries. They could be positive, they could be negative, they could be in between, but something that kind of shocked you because you did not know about it. It wasn't in your country, but you're hearing about it from this other artist. So whoever would like to go first can go first, because maybe that particular aspect is already on. Anything that surprised you.
Yes.
It could be yeah.
Sorry.
Maren, you would like to go first?
Yes.
Sure.
I was very surprised because when Noah talked with Charles and spoke with Charles about his doubts, and Charles answered, "You have to believe in you." It touched my heart because, of course, I have to believe in me every time as an artist and as a person. So every time I could live only with a sense you have to believe in you. So I thought about it many days, and I can only believe in myself when I know myself, when I know about when I know what I'm a lover of, and so this is a journey to myself, to my self-love. And so when I can only believe in myself when I know myself. So I have the journey to know myself. And so this was a thought. This is it. I thought, and I thank you, Charles, because yes, I have believe in me. You have to believe in you, but who I am, I have to reflect who I am, and so I can believe in myself, and I love myself. I can love myself, and so this was new for me. In this, I want to get it, and thank you for this thought.
Thank you, Maren, for sharing that. Yeah, sometimes we feel we want to be in a particular place. We want to unclog our minds and be able to think differently, but we don't know what it takes. So someone else naming it for us is very helpful in many ways, including the way that Maren has put it. So Charles, thank you for doing that for Maren and for all of us who are listening in and watching the conversation. And I would like really to have other thoughts from the rest of us, because I know that sometimes art, even when we say it's universal, sometimes it speaks to things that are very specific to a particular context, that are very unique to a particular area, a particular people, a particular place. And we've exchanged some bit of work as artists. Is there anything in the artwork from an artist in another country that you found very fascinating, that you would love to point out for the audiences to get to relate with as well? Noah, do you feel comfortable to share any of that experience? I know you've interacted with a lot of work.
No, yeah, I just what came in mind to me was first how Victoria is using colors and her collages, because after I saw her collages, I just was kind of like starting doing it too and experimenting with it. So also her palette and the way she uses her colors, because it's acrylic, right? But when I saw her paintings, they have this kind of like texture to them. So it feels, I don't know, it feels like a mosaic at the same time, but it isn't. So I was like very confused, very like, oh, what is this? So I always love this kind of input. You know, you need to see the work of others to feel inspired, and I feel very inspired also by you, Charles, because in fact I saw your sculptures and the abstract shapes that work so fluidly and so perfectly. And there was one sculpture I really felt hugged. You know, I saw it and I felt like this sculpture was hugging me. I was like, oh, come here. I want to give this a hug. I want to touch the surface because it looks so beautifully done. And also what I just get, because I was very, very much nervous about this whole thing. And I think I also wanted to talk about that because for me, it was like the first time we actually talked and met you before this Zoom meeting started, where you were saying you have to believe in you. And so I realized, okay, the persons I'm talking with, they are artists too. They are speaking so freely, and so I think we really get along with each other. So I had the feelings, okay, maybe I'm an artist too. And it was actually the first time that I got this thought. So, and also got this feeling, I am really an artist. So I wanted to thank you to have this opportunity and to have this platform to get in touch with you guys, because you gave me so much during this short amount of time, and I'm really looking forward to maybe have contacts in the future too.
All right, thank you, Noah, for sharing that. And one of the things that I get from your sharing is that chances are high that even beyond being mentored by our relatives, in this sense, our parents, we are mentoring each other across the ocean, right? By sharing this work, we are kind of inspiring more creation. We are inspiring diversity in terms of the different forms of art that we produce, in terms of the material that we use, in terms of the texture of the art that we produce. And I think for me, thinking about this, this kind of project as an exchange project, a cultural exchange project, this is one of those highlights, being able to learn across the ocean, to learn from each other across the ocean. And Victoria, do you have any surprising discoveries that you made from the people in Germany that you would like to share with us?
Yes.
Yeah, please go ahead.
I really liked and was really surprised with the way Noah manages to balance his music career and the painting career. And in a way, his music speaks to me. It makes me feel alive. Yeah.
Yeah, so do you feel, okay, maybe it's not a question, it should be a comment. I think you feel better that someone else is managing. So you being a student and a practicing artist, you'll also manage, right?
Yes.
That's what I get from you. I know I'm a writer. I didn't mention at the beginning, I'm a writer with FemWrite, Uganda Women Writers Association, and I do short stories. And for a fact, I know from just my own writing, but from interacting with other artists in this country, from being in art spaces, from being part of dialogues and conversations about art and how art speaks to our lives in the different spaces where we are, I know for a fact that art has limitations to it. Production of art has limitations to it. Whether those limitations are articulated, said or not, they are there and somehow we are aware of them. I would like to hear from, especially the artists from German, if there are any limitations to what kind of art you can produce and how you can produce it, and perhaps the audiences, you can share that particular art that you produce with, in terms of legal limitations, religious limitations, or they could even be cultural limitations. So please feel free to share with us. We want to get a feel of what the legal, cultural, social environment is like in terms of the art that you produce. Thank you. I feel like starting with Noah because I've been really like pushing Maren to start. So let's have Noah first this time round.
I'm not really sure because I don't have the feeling that we have as much, so we don't have no limitations for art here. So it's like art is there to push the limits. So it's always like that we take, so as an artist we're trying to take things that are surrounds us and trying to also be an oppositional, like art is oppositional, I think. And the only limitation is money. So when you have a project, when you also maybe contacts, so it's like it's gambling. When you are an artist, you also need to gamble. You need to know the right people. You need to be at the right time, at the right places. You need to watch out who are you meeting. You need to present yourself pretty well. Also need to find out how you do it, when you do it. But it's all about earning money, because when you have money, you could buy a bigger studio space. Then you could have maybe get more recognition. Then you can, like living in a capitalistic world.
That's that's something that is making me feel like I shouldn't ask my next question to you, because I wanted to say we can't live on art entirely here in this country, and I wanted to ask whether you can actually live on art in your country. But when you tell me the only limitation is money, then I can already begin to figure out that we are more or less in the same boat. Perhaps different levels, perhaps different spaces in that boat, but more or less the same. And the question that comes to mind then is, why is this arts and culture sector underfunded by our governments, by our different stakeholders? But Noah wanted to say something.
Yeah, because I need to mention something at this point, because I was talking about money and stuff. I'm in a very, very lucky position because I get, so I'm living here in Leipzig and I'm trying to earn money also. I'm trying to sell paintings, and I also worked as a waiter, but in fact, I'm such a lucky person, such a lucky guy, because my mother is also giving me money monthly, and she's working very, very hard that I could afford everything that I need here to have a studio space, to also get my educations done, and she's very, very supportive. So you just need to point that out, because it's not like that I'm doing it all on my own. I have my mother's support also financially, and my father not as much, but he's also there.
So Noah, if we need to understand, we actually need to understand you better and see whether you are speaking for yourself as an artist, or you can say you're speaking for a bigger group in German. Would you say many young artists in German are able to get support from their families, from the government, to be able to at least have the basic things that they need for their careers to run? Or is it a unique experience with you because your mother is very supportive?
Well, I don't really know. I know there so everybody is struggling in a way. So everybody needs to earn money, but I don't know as many artists there at my age, but I think everyone is struggling, especially in times of Corona when the whole scene is frozen.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, I would like to get a version from Uganda. Charles, what would you say about this same topic? Do you think there are limitations in terms of the artwork that you can produce in this country, considering the legal environment, the cultural norms, and also perhaps religious beliefs around us? Do you think there are limitations when you think about those three aspects, especially in this country?
No, I think here we have no limitation on what we could produce. I think the challenge is, where do you want to sell your art and who you are going to sell to? So then from there you are diverted to what you should do. But you don't have any limitation from cultural leaders on what, but you have church artists, but those are different, and church art is different. Then you have to sell that particular art to church. We don't have any limitation on what we should do. Everyone is free to do what he should do, as long as he can find someone who can collect it, or as long as he can live on it. So most artists produce work depending on where they are going to sell it on, or what they are going to the function of art. So we don't have any limitation on what you should do or what. No, we don't have that kind of here in Uganda.
Perhaps, Charles, thanks for sharing. If I could delve deeper into this conversation on the issue of limitations, I'm thinking around things like things embedded in our cultural norms that we might consider taboo, but which might be issues that artists do not consider taboo, or consider taboo, but taboo that is affecting humanity in different ways, maybe affecting a particular section of society. Let's say practices that might be harmful to children, but people in our communities hold them dearly, or practices that might be affecting women specifically, but people in our communities hold them dearly, and they think no one should challenge them through any form of art, or practices against, let's say, people with different abilities, but which we think no one should talk about. So have you seen scenarios where such art comes out and it's censored, or the artist is told, you can't produce this music, or you can't put this song out, or you can't display this art piece in any gallery because it's against A, B, C, and D? Have you experienced anything like that? We could talk about Uganda, but also we could talk about German in this case.
Yeah, I have, since because I've been in the art field for so long, since, let me say, 2000, or since 1999, I haven't seen anything like that. Because here, some years back, yes, we had a nude art exhibition, which was sponsored by Italian art collector, but again it disappeared somewhere. Apart from that, we never had anything like that, because then so many people had some comments on some nude art, but it was a nude art exhibition. Actually, it was once every year. Some people had some comments about it, but it wasn't that much, because people who attended normal gallery for that exhibition were highly professional people, or people with knowledge about art. They couldn't talk much about it because it's art, it's nude art. But around anywhere in Kampala or in other art galleries or in Uganda, no, we don't have something like that. We don't have anything like a taboo.
Okay.
Again, I will tell you that, yeah, The artists, for example, some artists who are producing craft artworks, they produce art for sale. So if you produce something which can be against anything, you definitely know that you'll be out. You can't say it anywhere. So you cannot
Okay.
produce that, yeah.
Thank you, Charles, for sharing that. But I would like to know, is that exhibition still running, the nude exhibition, or was it discontinued?
No, it was discontinued. It's not anywhere. No, it's not.
It
anywhere.
was discontinued.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
Thank you for sharing that. So in a way, we have those things that are at the back of our mind, and we know even when we would have loved to produce art in this particular form, we have this particular experience and we know we cannot repeat it. Thank you, Charles. I don't know if Maren or Noah has something to say on the same topic before we go to the questions from the audience. So far, we have a few questions coming in, and I see time is running pretty fast. So is there any comment on that from our duo from Germany? Okay, there's no comment. I see at least Maren shaking her head. So the audience is asking, and I would like to read one question at a time, have it addressed, and then we get to the next. So this question is going to all of us, all the artists. Have you ever been offended because you are an artist? Is it of value to be an artist? So it's a compound question speaking about whether you've been offended as an artist before, and whether you think it's of value to be an artist and how. So I would like to go in this order. Let's hear from Victoria first. Then we can probably get Noah, and then we can go to Maren and Charles. So you can just talk in that.
Yes, I've been ever offended. Some people used, and I think some of them still do, comment about my work and referring to it as cartoons. And some of them used to say, I will never sell any of those cartoons anywhere. And at a point, I got depressed, and I reached a point and I didn't want to work. But my dad kept on telling me, you're an artist, and this is how you feel better to express yourself. And I had to console myself, and got back to my feet. And I believe as an artist, I've been appreciated, and I'm still going to be appreciated.
Okay, thank you, Victoria. Noah, I noticed that when I asked this question from the audience, you were a bit engaged. I would like to ask it again for you. Have you ever been offended because you are an artist? And is it of any value to be an artist according to you? And what is that value? So please share your thoughts, then we'll move to Charles, and then, to Maren, and then lastly to Charles.
I think in a way, when you get offended for what you do it the right way, because it's like doing something different, and then you make people at first thinking it's weird. Why is that? I don't understand it. But this it's not about what I want to say. It's about the question my work is opening up for you. And I once just had a performance at Pilotenküche, and there was someone I knew, and then this person came to me afterwards after I performed, and she said, okay, hey, oh, great performance, Noah. I thought you would kind of like get you in the middle. So again, at first I thought you would present yourself again like the way you do, and it's always you get this kind of, you just do it to push your ego. So this is something I'm struggling with at the same moment, because I don't do it because I want to be recognized at all. I want to speak out what I think and what I feel. So this is why I do it, and I don't do it because I don't do art because I want to be something special. It just needs to be spoken out. So that's the thing.
Okay, that's powerful. That's powerful. I'm a writer as well, and I struggle a lot with reading my work. I'm such a bad reader. I suck, and I know it. But when I get to read my work for an audience and I get to hear these negative comments, right now I think I've grown. I'm growing, and I know I can accommodate stuff, and I know it's feedback that is meant to make me better. But when I was beginning as a writer, I would struggle. You know, you get to read for an audience after you've put in a lot of effort, even practice, but then for some strange reason, you can't read as well as you want to read. And then people just give you that feedback, and you're like, you people, do you know how much I've really gone through to give you this one short story of mine? But yeah, I completely hear you. We struggle with these things, and we have to keep aiming to be better versions of ourselves as artists, because we are the ones that sell our work. Sometimes the artwork might not be what is physically there. You might be there, and you need to speak about it before someone can get to say, bring me one painting. Let's hear that. Let's see what you produced. It has to be you to speak, and it's a journey, really. We get there, but it takes a while. So Maren, yes, please share your thoughts on whether you think you've ever been offended and whether you think it's valuable being an artist.
Thank you. I was never been offended. And in my opinion, it's a taste. When everyone hear my voice and think, no, it's not my taste, I can't hear her voice, it's his taste. So there's so many people who started to cry when I sing. So, but in the normal life, I say in the normal life, everybody said, oh, you're so emotional, it's too much for me. And so I thought, yes, you want to hear my voice, you want to be touched from my voice, but I don't have to be emotional. So I choose to be emotional and touch everybody with my work. So no, never.
Okay, never. Yes, thank you. And she has answered the two questions in one, because she touches other people's lives with her work. I think that's the value of her being an artist. So she has answered both. Charles, do you have thoughts on that question from the audience? Ever been offended?
Yes. As an artist, yes, I've been offended. And I'll give a message to Victoria and Noah as an upcoming artist. For sure, I will be offended 100 times and many times. And not only the people from the people who are going to pass by you, or people you meet anywhere, but even art gallery owners, they will offend you. And again, as Mama Noah said, it's a test again, because someone can offend you here, and then in the next corner, someone will appreciate what you do. Yeah. And another question said, is art of any value? Yes, art is of a value. Of course, you can live on art. And of course, art, we artists, yeah, everything starts with us, artists. Without artists, no one can live. Like, I will give you an example. A house you live in is designed by an artist. The laptop we use, the shape is designed by an artist. The cup we use in the house. So almost everything. The roads we travel through, some parts are sketched with from artists. Everything is done by artists in the beginning. So you would say that maybe a doctor doesn't need art. A doctor needs art and needs an artist, because a machine you operate somewhere starts with a design and a shape from the artist. So we artists, we are the key for everything. Everything begins with us. But definitely we are offended, but doesn't mean that you won't get there. So you have to keep on working and doing what you do. So if you meet someone who without a taste of your art, then you keep on going somewhere, then until you find someone who has a taste with your art. Yeah.
Wow, Charles, that's very powerful. And I think articulating how valuable art is part of the advocacy that we need to do for ourselves as artists, but for the art industry as a whole. Because thinking about the experience of arts as our sector in Uganda, some time back, I know our president mentioned that we needed to remove, I don't know the right word, we needed to remove arts, at least some arts from the Ugandan curriculum, and replace them with science subjects, because according to him, sciences are more valuable than arts. But when you speak about roads being designed or being sketched by artists, when you speak about all the computers that we use, the technology as we know it, having an element of art, I think it kind of excites the mind to think how far art goes in terms of our everyday experience, our everyday needs. So I think it's very important for us to speak about our relevance in our different communities in the way that Charles has articulated. And I'm very happy that that has come out very strongly. So Noah, this question comes to you from the audience. And the question is, when did you discover yourself as an artist? When did you discover yourself as an artist?
About 3 weeks ago.
Please tell us more about that, Noah. About 3 weeks ago.
So I just was doing things. I just was continually doing. I just was painting in the studio. I just was writing songs, and then someone came to me and was like, "Hey, no, I would like to produce some of your songs." And there was this opportunity with PK. Like Juliana said to me, I would like to have you as a local participant there in April. I got this opportunity, and now I could work for an exhibition, for a re-exhibition, getting into the thought process. How do I want to present my work? Also, just sitting in the studio for 9 hours, having this idea for a song, doing like playing the guitar 3 hours, recording the voice for like 20 times, and then after 9 hours at 12, we were sitting there before the monitors and was listening to the product, and then I realized, oh, well, look what I can do with the brush and with my voice. And then I feel like, yeah, I really feel like an artist now. But it took me some time because it's I don't know, feeling different and feeling not part of society in a way was really something I need to realize, that this also is a part of artists, and that I feel very, very comfortable, more comfortable in an environment with artists that are surrounding me than with people who don't understand what I'm doing. And this is something which is kind of like going on now, but 3 weeks ago.
3 weeks ago, he says, wow, I think we keep discovering ourselves. Each production is a new experience, and probably a different experience. So I guess we discover ourselves when we discover the new abilities that we didn't know we had. So before I leave you alone, Noah, there is another question that is directed to you and Victoria. So you could take the first shot at it. Where do you see yourself, Noah, in the next 5 years as an artist?
I have no clue. And how? It's like I'm trying to. We will see. Let's say I can talk about tomorrow, what I'm trying to do tomorrow, but I can't say what I'm trying to do in 1 year or 5 years. So we will see. Just continue going on.
Okay, that's Noah's brief answer. We'll see where we go. At least the sure thing is that he's producing work as much as he can. He's producing work, and you'll keep seeing more and more from him. Victoria, where do you see yourself in the next 5 years as an artist?
honestly, I don't know because ago I didn't know I'll be
Don't
here.
cheat. Don't copy exams.
Yes, I'm not copying. Seriously.
Okay.
A year
Okay.
ago, I didn't expect that I'll be doing this. I would have had exhibitions, but I have had them in this period of 2 years, and I didn't know I'll be here today. But I know I'll be somewhere in 5 years, but I can't tell I'll be here exactly.
Okay. Okay, thank you. And I think that's a very hard question, of course, for people that are still at school and trying to practice art. Probably they could choose to stay in school longer and learn more skills and get more knowledge, but also they could try and practice more after their first levels of school. So maybe the answers are genuine in a way. Yeah, we will believe them. Victoria, will choose to believe you. So Charles, this question is coming into you. And one of the people in the audience is asking, has the landscape of art changed depending from when you started to now? Would you say the appreciation of art has improved or declined in the context of Uganda, Charles?
Yeah, definitely, yes. It's changing every day. However, it's a bit slow, but definitely there's a big change. People are starting to understand what is art, and many people are changing from the culture of having a calendar on the wall. And then some are changing from having a calendar from the wall to maybe a portrait, maybe a portrait from a pencil, or a portrait of a painting, but mostly a portrait of his own. We have seen some people now starting to say that, okay, starting commissioning like portraits, paintings into their homes. I'm talking about low class people. So I think that's a beginning of understanding art and appreciation of art. Yeah. But before, we had a culture of people who cannot understand even a drawing or a piece of art. But definitely it's changing. The culture, the art world and the art community is growing and growing every day. It's changing. People are starting to buy art. Ugandan people are starting to buy art, collect art for places. I think it's they have seen more from different places. Then they are inspired also to change their homes, to advance their homes. So definitely the art world is growing slowly by slowly in Uganda. People are buying art in different categories. Yeah.
Wow, Charles, that's a very good point to take us to our last question. At least it's a very positive note. I like the fact that people are getting to buy more and more art in this country. And the last question is directed to Maren and Charles. And the question is, what does it feel like to see your children doing art? So Charles, I don't know if you want to go first since you're very close to me.
Okay, yeah. I think as a parent, it makes you happy that you can maybe inspire someone. Because personally, I'm an artist. I wouldn't advise my daughter because I don't know much about doctors or other professionals. So, and believe me, I did not convince Victoria to become an artist. No. I always let her to have her own choices because I didn't push her to go study art. No, because we always talk about, we all sit down and speak, and she chose to take art. I did not force her, or because I always like someone to have his or her own choices. Yeah, but it makes you happy to see that she's growing and she's advancing. And to assure you, or to tell you a secret about this, I'm here today because she convinced me a lot, and I wasn't part. I didn't start this. I didn't know about this, but she's progressing, which makes me happy that she can do some things at her own, which makes me believe that she will be somewhere in some years to come, because she's always consistent that she wants to develop her art career. Like there are some, like the resident she applied at her own, and some exhibitions she applies her own, and then she comes back, oh, I was selected for this art opportunity, and say, okay, then that's good, because I see the progress in her, and it makes me happy. And I believe that me as a parent, I have to offer whenever I can, or any support that I can to her, so that she can progress her career.
Okay, over to you, Maren, without any delay.
Thank you. For me, it's the most important thing that I can live my values, and with my children, I can live my values, and they and Noah can be an artist now. He said, I'm an artist. He can be an artist and he can be free. And so I made my world a little bit better in a little world as a little family. But Noah wanted to make other people happy with his voice. And when he can touch me, he can touch other people. And so I can make my world a little bit better in my world. And so he made his little bit world better in his world. And so the world grow. So this is I'm very proud of this. And yes, he can do this.
Okay, thank you so much. I love the positivity that we are ending with. Victoria, what would you say are your last words to children who have their parents as artists, but also as mentors?
Sometimes being mentored by your parent, it's really hard, because my dad, he's always hard on me. He's always telling me, no, this is not done the right way. And sometimes it might annoy you, but I got used to it, and I understood that he wants the best for me. That's why sometimes he's always hard on me. So children out there, I would let you know don't be disappointed when your parent shouts at you. They want the best for you, and they see what's coming in the future for you. So just stay calm and follow their advice.
Thank you. Noah, what would be your words to young people that are being mentored by their parents to become artists, or who are already artists, but they are continuing to be mentored by their parents?
I don't know about some other families, but what I could say about my family is that you can always trust your parent. Always trust your parents. If you have a good relationship, they know you, and they also know sometimes what's good for you, even if you don't feel like it, even if you don't know. So please just be quiet sometimes and listen to your parents. They know stuff. They really do.
Okay, our parents know stuff. So thank you, Noah. Thank you, Victoria. Thank you, Charles. And thank you, Maren, for sharing of you with us. Thank you for making this conversation very engaging for us. And thank you for sharing your art. We hope that we'll see you producing more and more art. And I hope that probably this event, this engagement on the cultural exchange program will be part of the process that will lead to you guys collaborating artistically, whether by crossing over and coming this side, or people here crossing over and coming this side, or whether continued virtual working. But we hope that you can produce work together as part of what this has started. And I would like to take the opportunity to thank Goti Institute for putting this together. Thank you for creating this powerful and very engaging kind of project for artists to learn from each other, but also for us audiences to be able to share from these great experiences of families working together on artistic production. So I would also like to thank the audience for making time to be part of this event. I know that there is a lot that you could have done with your time, but thank you so much for committing time. And thank you so much for asking these questions. They help us understand things better. Gwede Institute, I would like to hand over to you at this point, but also as I hand over to you, Sina, I would like you to kindly be gracious to mention one more time the art galleries that have helped us to coordinate these artists. Please, if you could mention them one more time for the audiences to be able to also look them up and look their work up. Thank you so much. Bye from me.
Thank you, Juliet, and thanks a lot to our 4 artists. It was a very insightful and personal conversation, I felt, and picking on different topics at the same time, having these similarities of bringing together child and parent both as artists. And thank you, Juliet, for doing a great job in guiding us through the different themes. It was I really enjoyed. I was entertained, and I think it was also the same feeling for our audience. And also thank you again to Pilotenküche. Marcel, maybe you can type the word and also a link in the chat bar in YouTube, so people can just follow the link. And Noah is one of the artists who's working with Pilotenküche. And also in the YouTube comment, you also find the links again of the videos which we are going to put, so you can again have a look. Then from the Ugandan side, we had Seina Art Gallery, Kito. I think you're also still watching. You can also write some few information in the comment bar. So we had this cooperation between Pilotenküche and Seina Art Gallery, where Goethe-Zentrum Kampala, as we tried to bring them together. And I also hope that was actually usually the outcome of our last virtual gallery tours, that the artists were still in contact, exchanging, and hopefully also seeing each other soon. And please feel free to share this video, to stay in touch with our programs with Goethe-Zentrum Kampala. Juliet mentioned she's a writer, also working with FemWrite together. So we also have another event with FemWrite on our premises in Kampala soon. Please stay in touch, and I think that's it from my side. And it feels kind of hard to leave this meeting now. It would be nice to have still like a after conversation where we can just have a drink and chit chat, but unfortunately this is not possible with online. But also Noah and Maren, please stay in touch with us. And okay, then I think we're closing this meeting, and I wish everyone a good night. Thanks again. Vielen Dank to everyone also who joined us, and leave your comments, get in touch with the artists. We're going to share more information on our social media. See you soon.
Thank you very much. It was a pleasure to meet all you guys and to have this conversation. So we'll stay in touch.
Thank you.
Okay, then we can all wave in the camera.
Yeah.
Bye.